General, man.
Forever.
Big lady, man.
Forever. Forever.
With us, St. John, man.
Right. Right.
One love boy time.
Right, man. Jeez,
is where restaurants allowed and cook shops and food stores allowed to be able to serve on Sundays and bank holidays. You, the media, asked me that same question and the Attorney General that same question.
On behalf of the Ricey government, we apologize to the Honorable Mia Montley and her government for the gathering yesterday at Deacon's Market. We are very sorry. We just want everybody to just keep your hands sanitized, stay social distance 6 feet apart, and remember to put down the guns because we are in recess and we will be staying inside. We Ricey government will be off the streets at 5 o'clock today. We will be inside, so we want everybody in Barbados stay safe and listen to the boss. She know what she's doing.
This song is dedicated to all my sons and daughters through the four corners of the earth. My sons and my daughters, to you I plead. Watch, don't get no horrors, but please take heed. I know you don't want no sermon, but my admonition is to guard you against all the evils of life that create strife and destroy life. Walk cautiously, children, be alert, because you have an enemy that's roaming the earth. I know you're young and restless, but you don't have to be careless. You see, sober thinking leads on to righteousness, to happiness, spiritual bliss. That's why I tell you this. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. Now we sing it again. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. I give you my counsel because I want to see all you young people live righteously. What you feed your mind with forms your characteristics and shape the path that you must walk tomorrow. Darkness or glow, joy or sorrow, that's why I'm concerned. So watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. Yeah, yeah. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. To all my sons and daughters in Germany, pass out, meine Kinder. Pass out, meine Kinder. Da ist jemand, der heißt Lucifer, hat eine Jude mit weißem Puder, aber will dein still young and your future is ahead of you. Right or wrong, sweet or sour, depends on what you do. Taking the wrong direction will drain your constitution and promote mental chaos and confusion. Then corruption to gain a man, and that is not God's plan. Cuidado mis hijos, to my Spanish children. Cuidado mis hijos. Hay un hombre que se llama Lucifer con una bolsa de polvo blanco, y él no quiere formar tu cara, pero para traer pena y desgracia para la raza humana. To my French children. Attention, mes enfants.
Attention mes enfants.
Attention, mes enfants.
Attention mes enfants.
Il y a quelqu'un
appelé Lucifer avec un sachet de poudre blanche. Il ne veut pas saupoudrer vos visages, mais apporter honte et détresse à la race humaine.
To my East Indian children, देखो मेरे बच्चा लोगों, देखो मेरे बच्चा लोगों, एक इंसान जैसा शैतान है, उसका पास है टेलीफोन का, और दूसरों को.
Good evening. Welcome to our Thursday edition of DLP TV. On Wednesday, yesterday, Barbadians celebrated our Barrow Day, as all of you know, here in the diaspora throughout the Caribbean. Right Excellent Errol Walton Barrow was the first Prime Minister of this country. Apart from being the first Prime Minister of this country, he is a national hero, an acknowledged national hero long before the formal honors were conferred upon him. And so Barbadians observe January 21st as an important day in the calendar of this country. We did a ceremony yesterday. The two parties went to St. Lucie, which is Mr. Barrow's birthplace, and the Democratic Labour Party laid a wreath in his honor in St. Lucie, and we were very pleased that this was all organized by our candidate for St. Lucie, Mr. Ian Griffith. In contrast, the Barbados Labour Party staged, I don't know, it's called a rally, a fete, let's say a fete. They organized a fete a few hundred meters down the street. And Barbadians are talking about the two events. Ours befitted the life of Mr. Barrow. It was dignified. The Reverend certainly, who did the prayer, reflected that Mr. Barrow's life was one of integrity in his political life and certainly in his private life. It was one of service, and it reflected love of country. And I can add to that our ceremony was dignified. If I may say so myself, it was a dignified ceremony. Excellent speech from our representative from St. Lucie, our candidate from St. Lucie, Mr. Ian Griffith. I chipped in a little bit, Ian, as well. And Reverend Sandiford started the proceedings with a prayer. Now, I don't know what was the content of what happened down the street, except to say that whatever happened, Barbadians here and in the diaspora are now talking about a video which emerged from that event held by the Barbados Labour Party government in St. Lucie yesterday. We have a video which we're not going to show you because we want to protect those little children. But our understanding is that one of the entertainers, during his delivery, his song, whatever he was singing about, I understand it was not the most palatable material. But two children appeared on the stage. Now, looking at their body types, they cannot be 15, probably not 14. Very young children. And they were handed the microphone. And that is an encouragement to them to join in the content, to join in the lyrics of what he was presenting. That is unfortunate. That is sad. And as I said a few hours earlier, just up the street, we were commemorating the life of Mr. Barrow. We were celebrating the life of Mr. Barrow. We were honoring Mr. Barrow in a very dignified way. but that is the way of the Democratic Labour Party. And just down the street, we have to describe what happened to those children because we see them as victims. We have to describe it as child abuse. And certainly when you look at the UN Charter in relation to children and so on, that is not what is done. That is not the way to do things. And that's not how you treat children. And generally, this habit of the Barbados Labour Party of reducing every event, every sacred event, every solemn event, is reduced to spectacle and entertainment and festivity. There's no dignity. And Barbadians tonight are lamenting this now. I understand this was the start of the Barbados Labour Party's campaign. What a start. What an interesting start. And what a significant way to start an event. We come here tonight to discuss responsible leadership in culture and politics. And yesterday, the Barbados Labour Party showed the people of this country how it relates to this new culture and how they are fostering a new culture, not among people of our generation, not among older people, but how they are encouraging children to behave, how they are encouraging children to regard themselves and to regard their country, that every event must be reduced to a bacchanalian exercise and you, well, saying things and doing things really that your Sunday school teacher would not be proud of, your school teacher would not be proud of it, your parents would not be proud of it. But those two little children were encouraged on a stage yesterday at a Barbados Labour Party event, and this launched the campaign of the Barbados Labour Party. How did we launch our campaign? Well, on Tuesday, we presented a lecture. A visiting Trinidadian professor came and delivered that lecture. And yesterday, as I said, we went to St. Lucie very dignified, very orderly, and the media was there, and they captured the entire event. What was there to capture of that Barbados Labour Party event? I guarantee that not many people remember anything that was said by any speaker there, from the Prime Minister back down. What is remembered is the public abuse of two of our young citizens, and we sympathize with them tonight. But tonight we want to discuss leadership, responsible leadership in culture. And we have to discuss politics as well, because a government that has political power certainly influences the culture of this country. I know, for example, that the National Cultural Foundation has been established to promote a progressive culture, and it uses a lot of money. And BTMI as well. Tourism is part of our culture. A lot of money goes through there towards shaping the culture. I don't want to make too long a speech. I've probably gone on too long anyhow, but we've asked a distinguished panel to come here tonight to discuss leadership in culture and politics, and to reflect on what happened yesterday, to reflect on how the Barbados Labour Party is treating the people of this country, to reflect on how the Barbados Labour Party is treating the children of this country, our precious children. Ian, you are our candidate in St. Lucie. I want to congratulate you for an excellent speech, the conviction with which you spoke. It was quite moving, and then you played the Marley song afterwards, and I saw you getting quite involved, and we had no idea that what happened down the street a few hours later would have happened. Ian Griffith is a child of St. Lucie, a former manager of Youth Milan. I so admired Youth Milan and your man, Norman Ford. Probably the 4th or 5th best footballer this country has produced. Don't argue with me on that. But you are president of that club, which shows that you have an organic connection with St. Lucie. You've been involved in the culture of St. Lucie long before you became involved in the politics. And tonight you are here to discuss politics and culture. Ian, I want to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you, Comrade Leader. Thank you to the other panelists and the producers of the DLP TV. And it's quite interesting that you start off by mentioning my connection with Youth Milan, because the days of Youth Milan wasn't just about football. And you really brought my attention back to those days when we transformed Youth Milan from just playing football to an actual community club.
Lovely.
One of the things in my presidency at Youth Milan that I always told you guys, you know, this is not just about playing football, this is about your life.
Yes.
And we did have many activities at Youth Milan. We had motivational speakers coming in to talk to the players. We even had things like diet programs for the players. But one important thing, based on the subjects that we have here to discuss tonight, we actually had a community fest, which showcased the players of Youth Milan along with some of the supporters of Youth Milan. And we had evening or night of activities where there was a fashion show, different artists were there from the north, I must say, artists from the north. And that was not about football. That was about community. That was bringing back the community alive.
Yes.
And I still have pictures of those days, and I remember, quite frankly, our sponsors back then, which was Sagicor, General Insurance back then.
Mutual.
They actually were very, very, very pleased.
Yes.
That this is where their sponsorship money had gone. It wasn't just about football.
Right.
It was about community.
Lovely.
And when we talk about culture and the responsibility we have as, I would say, community leaders, because as the president of an executive who is handling the affairs of young persons, that is our responsibility to bring, I would say, wholesome activities, uplifting activities to our community.
Excellent.
And Youth Milan did that quite well.
Excellent, excellent. More than football.
Yeah, more than football.
More than football. More than medicine is our guest to your right. He is a father, he is a musician, he is a Sunday school teacher, I think. Part-time preacher as well.
Part-time preacher.
Part-time preacher, Dr. Elvis Wickham. Welcome as always to DLP TV.
Thank you, Conrad Leader. Good night, Barbados. I pay particular attention to your introductory remarks, and I also remind us Barbadians that just over a year ago, the leadership of the Barbados Labour Party held an event in the Botanical Gardens.
Oh yes.
Where a young girl, 12, 30 maybe, was on stage taking instructions from an adult male entertainer on how to
That's
drive.
right.
This is not the first time.
Not the first time.
This.
Yes.
This is not the first time that they have disrespected. You might as well throw in here how our youth were disrespected. Ministry of Education, Science, Computer Science survey that had nothing to do with computer science, but asked them all manner of questions that were quite
invasive and invasive. Yes.
And then Minister of Education and Prime Minister, who was a member of the IDB board, claimed they didn't know what was in the survey. So this is a worrying pattern of disrespect. It is almost as if they're trying to train our children for something quite different for what we would call traditional Barbadian values and norms.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to apologize to the guest to your right for describing him as a social media sensation. He reflects his campaign on social media because his campaign is real. It's not anything made up. It's authentic. He just happens to do more social media than most persons. And Jason Phillips, your social media is not telling any lies. The relationship that you're establishing with the people in St. Peter, the very wholesome relationship, a charm that is unsurpassed by any of us, that personal charm. I saw a picture of you, a video of you speaking to a lady at the church service on Sunday, and it reflected compassion, the ability to listen. You look like a son talking to your mom. It was Mrs. Rose Corbin. You saw that video? I saw it. And Jason, I want to congratulate you for the way that you've touched the lives of the people in St. Peter. It's not about a social media sensation. It is about bringing to the public and to the world the lives of hardship, the life of hardship that the people in St. Peter are enduring, and that you have brought their problems to the fore, and you have given them voice. I know it has become a cliche, but you've given them voice, and we want to thank you. And the people of St. Peter owe you so much that they have suddenly had a voice over the last 6 months to 1 year of you becoming a candidate. They did not have that voice before. They had what they thought was a voice in Parliament, but that voice was silent. And so, Jason, thanks for all that you have done for St. Peter. You're going to do a lot more, and I want to welcome you to the show tonight.
Good evening, comrade leader. Good evening, comrades all.
Good evening.
Good evening, St. Peter, and by extension, Barbados. And I wait on you for the rest of the evening.
You're crying?
Your words were so moving just now. I almost call you Uncle.
Uncle. Well, let's go to Uncle Ensley then. I went to a well-known Barbadian establishment today. Can I call it name? I went to Price Mart today, and when I was leaving, somebody shouted towards me from a truck, SUV truck. And he told me, I am from St. Michael East, and I am supporting Ensley Grainger. I said, good man. Ensley Grainger is not only a good man, we met in the courts, as I said, when he was a police prosecutor. We did a case together recently as lawyers. And Ensley, yours has been a journey through St. Michael East that is quite admirable. But I want the people of Barbados to know, and the people of St. Michael East to know, that you're not a stranger in St. Michael East. You are from and of St. Michael East. They tell me you're a Titchborn man. And it is only fair that a Titchborn man who used to be a Titchborn boy should return as a Titchborn politician to Titchborn and the entire St. Michael East. We welcome you to this show, Ensley.
Thank you, Comrade Leader, and thank you for your kind words. And good night to Barbados, good night to the residents and constituents of St. Michael East, and to those of you in the diaspora. I know tonight, Comrade Leader, we are looking at leadership, culture, politics, and I take note of your opening remarks as it relates to the fiasco
Yes.
at Checker Hall, Plainfield. Yes.
The tragedy.
And I am sure that leadership was lacking
Yes.
at that Plainfield yesterday.
Yes.
Leadership was sorely lacking. And as a father who at one stage had teenage children, I would be mad, to put it mildly, if my son and my daughter was exposed to such, and leaders present and did nothing about it. And whatever becomes of those children from yesterday,
Yes.
the leaders who were present and the leadership of this country must take full responsibility for any downward spiral of those children by failing to stand up as leaders when the situation merited such.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ensley. Let us then look at culture. Politics is a part of our culture, but before we go to the politics particularly, let us look at the culture in which we grew up, what shaped us into the adults that we are. Let us look at our early beginnings. We have a microphone problem, so I may have to do another monologue then. Mine is fine. Let us look at our early days. I tell people most of us came up between three institutions: the church, the school, and the family. And I normally extend the family into the village. And Doc, I want to start with you in looking at what does it mean to be Barbadian? What shapes a person into that unique being called a Barbadian? I remember a few years ago, I think it was the Prime Minister came up with this phrase, "This is who we are." And if yesterday at St. Lucie is who they are shaping the Barbadian into, let us reintroduce the Prime Minister of this country into the authentic Barbadian. because the authentic Barbadian seems to disappear from Barbados Labour Party events. We're talking to the BLP now. Tell the Barbados Labour Party who is the real Barbadian from childhood, and the typical Barbadian. I'm not talking about wealth and money, I am talking about character. What shapes this being that we call Barbadian? Yeah?
Well, you know, you mentioned disappeared from Barbados Labour Party events, but I would also add that the Home Affairs Minister, pretty sure it was the Home Affairs Minister, who, when the citizenship bill was being talked about and the immigration bill late last year, said something to the effect of, come with me on a journey and imagine what the new Barbadian would look like.
Oh, the phrase "New Barbadian" was. Oh, let us hear. Let us hear about that then.
Well, he's yet to tell me what he had, what the new Barbadian would look like. But it's clearly suggesting that there's an issue with the current Barbadian,
I
or
see.
with the Barbadian of old.
Of old, and not so old.
And not so old.
Yeah, yeah.
Come with me on a journey and imagine what the new Barbadian would
Really?
look like. I was quite offended. I mean, I guess I'm an old Barbadian because he's referring to others that they're looking to bring in, or some place that they're looking to take our country.
Yes.
And I also remember, in answering your question, a statement that was made in the Thorne speech, and you know who writes the Thorne speech? It was called the Thorne speech.
Yes, yes.
This was after Parliament was prorogued, September 2020, I believe it was, where there was a statement, the world has spoken.
Yes.
And if Barbados is to be counted among the progressive nations of the world, my government is prepared to, or my government is going to. And what caught my attention about that, and I talk about it often, the world has spoken. And if Barbados is to be counted among the progressive nations of the world. So there's the idea that the world is now deciding
Yes, dictating.
what a Barbadian
Yes, yes,
look like.
yes.
The world is now deciding what would happen in Barbados.
Yes.
And then juxtapose that against, next to, come with me on a journey and
Yes.
imagine what the new Barbadian would look like.
Yes.
The Barbadian that I know respects self. Is
Self.
taught from very young to respect self.
Yes.
There's certain things you do and there's certain things you don't do. The Barbadian, as I was taught growing up, definitely was taught to respect others.
Yes.
Absolutely to respect others. Not just when you think your parents are watching. Because if you didn't, and your parents may not have been watching, they would hear, and there was no cell phone and GPS and all that stuff, but somehow word would get back to your parents that you stepped out of line.
Yes.
And something was awaiting you when you got home. I don't know how they did it, but somehow. So you were taught to respect others. The Barbadian that I know was taught definitely to respect law enforcement officers. I have seen videos over the last few years, unfortunately, with some of our children not appropriately respecting police officers when they're speaking to them about their behavior. That is not the Barbados or the Barbadian that I'm familiar with. The Barbadian that I know is honest, hard-working, hard-working, believe in honest, hard work to get through life.
Yes.
Not necessarily looking for handouts as your way to get through life, but give me a fair opportunity, you know, not begging for favors, just give me a fair opportunity to work hard so that I can pull my bootstraps, get myself up and my family. That's the Barbadian that I know. The Barbadian respected God. There are certain things you did and you didn't do because you understood that you were answerable. You know, so there are behaviors that have become very commonplace in our society in recent years that have moved us away from those values, and I think we are somewhat worse off as a result. Certainly the lack of respect for self and others.
Yes.
Because the callous, easy way with which one takes the life of another in our society today is not the Barbados, the Barbadian that I know of.
Yeah.
There are always conflicts. That is nothing new.
Yes.
There was always violence. There was always crime from the beginning of time until
Yes,
now.
indeed.
That always existed. But there was some type of restraint, something in the back of your mind that said, I'm not going to do this.
It was wrong.
because
It was
wrong.
Yes.
You were taught some sense of right and
And wrong, yes.
as opposed to you do whatever you feel like, and once it feels right to me, it is right, full stop. And that seems to be the Barbados, the Barbadian that they're taking us towards.
Yes.
Heaven
Yes.
forbid.
Yes. Ensley, permit me to come to you, and I'm coming to you because Dr. Wickham said so very much, and your experience is quite interesting. You're a parent, you were a police officer, you were a prosecutor in the courts, you are a lawyer in the courts, and now you're a politician. That is very wide experience. I heard Dr. Wickham speak of self-respect, respect for others, honesty, being industrious, and being God-fearing, having respect for God. Your experience as a child, you were seeing all of this, were you? As a child growing up in Barbados, what Dr. Wickham identified as the Barbadian that was being shaped, that is your view as well, I take it?
Yes. I think I would start by first saying I want to thank God for the parents that He blessed with.
Excellent.
Speaking as a Barbadian born to a St. Lucian mother and a Barbadian father. I know my mother is not watching this. 94 years of age. And
94.
and still
Oh,
probably
congrats to her. When is 95 coming along? Which month?
Well, she was just 94 on the 13th of January.
13th, okay.
Yes.
Happy birthday to her.
Right. So I think that in that Barbados, when I grew up, parenting was the forefront or the hallmark, so to speak, because the parents were in charge.
Yes.
Whether it was a single mother or whether it was a single father or both of them.
Right.
The Barbados growing up is one knowing where you have come from, where you came from, but carrying yourself with respect and dignity.
Yes.
And that respect is not only about self, but respect to others. You had to good morning to whoever you saw along the road. I remember as a child leaving home with your mother, and she is speaking to every person that she saw.
Example. That's
But
good
it's
examples.
After I became an adult, I said, you know what? She was letting all the neighbors know who her children are.
Oh, I see. I see.
I thought so, because whenever you step over the line, when she gets home,
Yes.
she knows where you went, what you did, or whatever. But not only that, what was significant is that the elders stepped up and disciplined any youngster who they felt was showing signs of indiscipline.
As they say, the village was raising the child.
The village was raising,
Yes,
the
yes.
child. And I think that has gone way down.
Yes.
And church, Sunday school, non-negotiable.
Oh yeah. You had to go.
Non-negotiable. You were not asked if you want to go. You were told you are going.
And if you did not go, what happened? Well, you had to go.
There was no did not
There
go.
was
That's right.
Right? You had to go.
You had to go.
Right? And this now is not only in everything you hear, the children are being asked, do you want
Do you want to?
this? Do
Yeah.
you want
Options.
that? And I think we have dropped the ball, not yesterday, dropped the ball a while now.
A while
and
ago.
it's time that this country gets back to God.
Yeah, yeah. And to standards. Jason, you're raring and ready to go.
How you do that?
I could tell, because I'm watching you. A few weeks, months ago, you came here and you told, I think, a very amusing story of your Sundays. I think you did, and Ensley is talking about church attendance. And how many churches you had to attend on Sundays? And you're not the worst for it. In fact, you're a better person for it, I think. Tell the audience about this church going that you had to do on Sundays.
Well, first and foremost, I was born and bred in Spikestown.
Spikestown, you're a Spikestown man.
Yeah, I'm a Spikestown.
So you're home.
I'm a Spikestonian.
A Spikestonian.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I grew up in Gilded Stars, or what people would call the Army Hall Gap.
This is Salvation Army?
Right behind the Salvation Army.
My goodness.
My grandfather's house was there. My grandfather was Anglican. Anglican.
Uh-huh.
But the Salvation Army was next to church. So early in the mornings, we would go to church.
This is Sunday morning?
At the parish church, St. Peter's Parish Church.
Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
Uh-huh. What time was this?
Quite early back then, I don't remember. I don't want to call the wrong time. But
7 o'clock?
I think it was the 7 o'clock service.
Yes.
I don't think that when you come home, you can relax. Over to the Salvation Army. So much so that
you come home from the Anglican church.
Yes.
And you're over to the Salvation Army.
For the 11 o'clock service.
11 o'clock.
And that goes down to about 2. And you're there hungry the cow. I see it. But, talking about culture, because, culture is about your traditions,
yes,
your beliefs,
yes,
what is right, what is wrong,
yes,
food, music, and so on.
Everything. And
in Spikestown, I remember, especially in summer vacation, we would pick breadfruits. And for those young people in St. Peter who don't know how to cut off the cup of the breadfruit.
Cut off the what?
The top part.
Uh-huh.
And they go
the stem? This is by the stem?
You don't know.
Cut the heart. No, I know exactly.
They cut off the top.
Cut off the top.
And they go the heart.
They go the heart.
And they put little salt meat.
Pigtail. Pigtail.
Salt meat, pigtail,
mackerel too.
Mackerel as well?
Mackerel too.
Anything. You can use mackerel. Because some people couldn't afford salt meat or pigtail.
But I ain't heard about any hot sauce yet.
Little butter, little ketchup, little sauce.
This is the yellow butter full of salt.
Mellow cream.
Mellow cream.
And we had a yellow meat breadfruit in our yard. So all the guys in the neighborhood would come to our yard for breadfruits.
Tell the children of Barbados what age you're talking about here.
I am like 7, 8.
7, 8.
But and then you put back on the cover, and you get some pieces of stick. Some nails too, because the sticks could break off.
Yes.
Burn off. He said sticks, but we used to cut some sticks. When you cut not the wood to make the fire, and we would push it around.
Around where? Push it around where?
Around the tip of the cover.
Oh, I see.
And then we would place the breadfruit gingerly. What used to happen, right? Somebody was talking about big breadfruit. So if you overcook the breadfruit gets small. I know fellas want that's big breadfruit.
You got to tell Jamal Sandiford because he's a chef. Okay. And one night we're going to bring him in here. So the skin is on the breadfruit.
Wait. You didn't roast breadfruit alive?
I did, but I want to know how the St. Peter people did it.
We just cut off the top, cut off the heart, put some salt, meat, some butter, some ketchup, cover it back down, nail it down. And
ketchup?
Yes. And you put
your breadfruit adding ketchup?
Then, of course.
That's a St. Peter thing, man. You don't put ketchup in your breadfruit.
For the youngsters to see. And because we live so close to the beach.
You agree with this ketchup thing, Ian?
But I didn't used to use ketchup, but I've known people who use ketchup. Okay. So when it finishes a complete meal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear.
And then because I'm from Spikestown, we used to go to Neural Roads. Sometimes we would go across the Queen Street Beach or Here Was. I'm a Here Was guy.
Yes.
And then so we would be on the beach all day, some we would catch fish. Or we bag the hawkers by the fish market.
Yes.
Back then people give you a flying fish. So you
get 10.
You got your breadfruit roasting on the beach, and then when you get close to the end, you throw two flying fish there. And you had a full meal because our culture used to play all day long.
Yes.
Not only that, I came from a background where children respected adults, and therefore
excellent.
You can leave your windows open. In fact, on Sundays, just eat a bowl of food, you like on the ground, the door open, you fall asleep. Sometimes you go to work.
And the wind coming through the door.
Blow your face.
Yes.
I don't want to say something else.
Not here.
Blow it up your face. then, I also remember, somebody go in Spikestown with your mother, and then you forget the clothes on the line, and the rail like it won't fall. And the neighbor would take those clothes off for you, and rest the money inside, and you're not going to miss a thing. I also remember being able, maybe I got this bad habit, being able to go by my next door neighbor And if you're over there too long and they're cooking food, you get a plate of food to eat.
Of course.
I feel you stop talking now.
No, I don't want you to stop.
You're very troublesome.
No, I want you, you see, I'm listening to you so carefully. All of this is wholesome.
The music too.
This is the life of a child.
Yes. But also you.
And the normal life of a child growing up then. And you tell us about the music though.
I can come to that afterwards.
Okay,
Also,
okay.
I went to school at the Spikestone Boys School. Or what we call the University of Spikestone.
And all of this is shaping your character.
Yes.
Right, that's the point.
It made me who I am today.
Yes.
But I remember being in the boys' school yard, you know, somebody frolicking, somebody stay around. And when I say play football, I don't mean playing football. I mean kicking about a coconut shell. That was football for us. Right? And for some reason, somebody glass got broken out. It was not me.
You were kicking a coconut shell?
Yes, playing football. But our window was broken, and this old man passed in. He said, "You see, what I tell your grandfather? Like I tell the headmaster, but there wasn't principal, the headmaster."
Headmaster, of course. We didn't have principals.
I was so scared. I know it wasn't me, but the fact that he threatened to tell the headmaster on me, I know he was going to get a flogging now. In other words, I said it to say this, that the village, the whole community raised the child.
Yes.
So it wasn't like you can say, like, shut your mouth, you're old man. No, that couldn't happen. Right? And if he told my grandfather something untoward about me, then I would get a little flogging too. Because I came up in a house over where my grandfather and his wife, my grandmother, you know, I came up in a grandparents' home.
Oh, you were my grandparents. Yes, yes.
My parents too, but your grandfather, he was the chief. You know, he was the main guy. And the music, as I said, I don't ever remember.
Music in the house?
Music in the whole community.
Oh,
because even if you consider the donkey belly, the top band and so on, if you want to consider the music in the church, any kind of music, to me, was always wholesome.
Yes.
And a child could never find himself misbehaving, you know?
Through the music.
Right, because remember, culture can change.
Yes.
And if we allow children to do things, or if we do things in front of children, we can then begin to mold their view of what is right and what is wrong. And if we don't be careful, like what happened yesterday, then we begin to corrupt public morals.
Yes.
And we have to be very careful because then you get all-time low.
Right.
And what is good now, what is bad now, is good tomorrow, because it gets worse and worse and worse. And when we're talking about leadership in politics and culture, our leaders, our political leaders especially, has a mandate.
A responsibility.
To set good morals.
Yes.
Because it will shape the Barbadian culture.
Yes.
And we all know that Barbadian culture was a peaceful, wholesome thing. You go to church, you come home, you have some macaroni pie and chicken and rice, and you play. But now we are seeing this transformation into something that is unfamiliar to me. Is it familiar to you?
You mean yesterday?
Yes.
I saw it. That's all I will tell you. And it is quite new. As Dr. Wickham said, I think it was not last year before, the incident at Botanical Gardens with the girl on the thing, the year before. That is new. That is new to me. Before I saw the video, I did not know this kind of thing was happening in Barbados. I knew it was happening among adults. I mean, adults are entitled to these indulgences, but not children. You must spare children from this kind of thing.
You, and I'm going to say it to Barbados, quite frankly. The Right Excellent Walton Barrow is a national hero.
Yes.
To me, that transcends politics.
That's right.
And as a political leader of a country, the whole country should be taken to that place of remembrance, respect, and so on. And rather, to ignore the reason for the day.
Precisely.
And to have a work-out solution, whatever you want to call it. Right? To me, it was very disrespectful to our national hero, the Right Excellent Walton Barrow.
Yes.
And we must blame the political leaders of this country for that rubbish. And then we saw what it descended into. We have a stage where children going on stage, and being led astray.
Being led astray, that's the important thing.
That's
Ian, let me go to Ian then. Ian, this happened in your constituency. How does it strike you? I know you were going to say some other things, but I want to ask you, this is your parish. I mean, you made I want to get a copy of your speech, by the way. Okay. And you made that speech, and then a few hours later, you're being introduced at the other end of the street to this kind of behavior. And we're not blaming the children. We're saying that the children were the victims. How do you feel as the candidate for St. Lucie and potential next member of parliament? How did it leave you feeling?
Well, coming off of what Jason had just said, it's a national hero, Errol Walton Barrow, and he's a national hero of Barbados. It is Errol Barrow Day. Would it have happened if it was Sir Grantley Adams Day? I mean, we got to remember that it's a national hero. We have Heroes Day, but on this day, which was the day designated for this national hero, we should have treated it, we would expect Barbados, I would say the leadership of Barbados right now, to have treated it as such, in remembrance of our national hero. Yes, he is the father of independence, and yes, he is the father of this beautiful party that we have, the Democratic Labour Party. Politics should not play a part in that, like Jason said. It is a national day for remembrance of that leader, that father of independence. And to have such I mean, what is worse off is that you're holding it in a parish of St. Lucie, which have undergone a number of years, last 4 years or so of, I would call it suffering, in terms of the water issue that we have just had. In terms of the roads that are very deplorable. Maybe that's why they held it in Checker Hall and not have gone further into St. Lucie.
Or they want to hide the problems.
Which would be worse off in traveling there. But you had a number of tour buses, you know, transporting persons from all over Barbados.
Tour buses or transport buses?
Tour buses. Tour buses.
Oh, tour buses.
Yeah, tour buses. I've seen about a good number of tour buses. Transporting persons into Checker Hall to have what we will call one big liming party. Call it that. Big liming party. The BLP, big liming party.
Big liming party.
So I mean, these are things that you ask the question of you're not remembering in solidarity of what Errol Barrow stood for, the philosophy of Errol Walton Barrow, in terms of social justice, equality, and integrity. I mean, but also, what about the people of St. Lucie? What about the neighboring people in Checker Hall who have not had water, water off, on and on, sometimes for hours, and then all other parts of St. Lucie going through the same problem, the roads in St. Lucie? For you to come and have a party, it is a total disrespect for the people of St. Lucie. And I believe that though, yes, persons enjoy entertainment, and you can't, we are all human, we all enjoy entertainment. But like I said at our memorial, and the great Bob Marley, like I said, we have to open our eyes. You know, as the song said, we have to emancipate ourselves from the mental slavery. Because having such activities, it plays on our minds, it plays on the youth's minds. And this is something that we have to understand that is dangerous for a young society, for those persons in society who are young and needs training. So when we have as a leadership of a party, leadership of churches, you know, it is our responsibility to ensure that they are guided. Now, I would also add, yes, it is known that society change. And I believe, as in culture, cultural changes. We've gone through changes in culture. I believe, Carmelita, you would have been very active in the 70s. I was a little boy in the 70s. Then we move into the 80s. So I say cultures change. We have different activities that define our culture. Now, when we are in the year 2026, the cell phone and the internet is a part of our culture. And some of these youngsters are exposed to these things at a very early age. We have households, mothers and fathers who are out there very busy trying to get a job, or sometimes working 2 or 3 jobs. And sometimes they don't have time to really interact with their children as they should. It is not something the best thing. But one of the first things that you do with a child at 4 or 5 years old is to give it a tablet. So they have an exposure that it is not unlike our day.
Right.
In our day, our exposure came from going out there, like Jason said, you go to the sea, you spend a whole week at the sea, a whole day, sorry, at the sea. So especially in vacation time, you know, you play cricket at the beach, you play football at the beach, you eat at the beach, you roast breadfruit. So, but those times have changed because now we have children entertaining themselves on the internet. Now,
the computer is becoming
the computer has, correct.
Yes.
But this is where those institutions, such as the government institutions, the churches, have a responsibility to lend guidance and control, manage, I should say. Let's take for the music, for example. We grew up, like I'm a Barbadian fan. I love 70s music, 80s music. You know, to me, it's the best. 70s music has been the best time when music was really music, you know. And then, you know, you have what we call dancehall. Dancehall came in. But some of you saying dancehall music is uplifting music. We have Buju Banton. Buju Banton's music has been thing. But then you got a song like Untold Stories. You know, you got artists like Chronics.
Yes.
You know, these are artists that, even though some people look at it as dancehall, they do have uplifting music. Again, this is about how we manage. So you come to a function like that and you have your brain, a family picnic. Let's look at the word family.
Yes.
Family is supposed to be wholesome. Family is supposed to be groups of people come together to give support to each other, to revel. But the promoter wasn't a promoter of a dancehall effect.
It was the Barbados Labour Party.
A calypso effect.
It was the Barbados
Labour Party. It was the Barbados
Labour
Labour Party. So they have a moral responsibility, a social responsibility to ensure that they bring wholesome, uplifting activities on a day when those young people would have been able to recognize the contribution of the father of independence, Errol Walton Barrow, and they failed to do that.
Ian, I want to remind the public, and we talk a lot to the diaspora, that party yesterday had very, very few people from St. Lucie. On my way back to St. John, when I left you, I saw 2 transport board buses coming from St. George North. And I'm told that other transport board buses, which ought to have been commuting people to and from Bridgetown ordinarily, they took up yesterday and sent people to St. Lucie, and you had very few of your constituents at that party.
I don't know if you've ever been to many fetes, Ralph, but I don't know. I'm not sure, but you know, usually when you're at a big fete at the stadium, I can remember many MCs would shout out.
Oh yes,
how many people from St. Phillips?
Yes, yes,
yes. I don't think they would risk doing that yesterday because I don't think they would have had many people from St. Lucie.
No.
Interacting with many of my constituents in St. Lucie, a lot of them were highly offended by the party bringing such a fete there at Checker Hall.
Somebody says there's a photograph of all the buses parked up.
Yes, at St. Lucie Church car park.
Yeah,
they were there. I passed there myself, and I saw those buses, those tour buses. You know, it is amazing why they didn't pack those tour buses with water and distribute to the people in St. Lucie.
That's right.
I think that would have been a better idea. That would have been a better idea.
Yeah.
I don't want to give them any more ideas to probably bring that now, but it would have been very suitable yesterday to have done that.
Yes.
I probably would have been scampering and not being. I would have had to say they can't be here tonight because they will have to be out on the road trying to defend or compete against such a act like that. But they chose to party.
We don't want to sound sanctimonious or anything as if we're morally superior, but your event yesterday began with the parish priest.
Yes, I think.
Did they begin with any prayer or anything down the road?
I don't know because I wasn't there.
The doc is laughing at my question.
I think we, in light of how we began our week, the Democratic Labour Party began our week in church.
In church.
At St.
That's
John's
right.
Parish Church, you know. And one of the big questions that was asked, and I did mention yesterday, that was the theme of my speech yesterday, is why we are here. When you look and see that activity at Checker Hall, the question is, why were they at Checker Hall? Why were they there?
I think
what's their purpose?
The priest asked us that question. It's
at St. John, yes.
At St. John,
St. John, yes.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
The thing is, you have all these persons being transported to a parish, like I said earlier, which have been going through 4 years of suffering, with the lack of the water problem, the poor roads. So when you are inconsiderate to that, and you are asking persons to be patient, you are asking persons to hold on, the matter is going to be fixed shortly. You know, we now understand the roads are now going to be paved in Crab Hill. Which is not the first time
Between now and election?
Which is not the first time that the roads, especially going to Crab Hill, has been paved just prior to the election. You know, I mean...
They did it last time.
They did it last time. They did it the time before.
Yes.
But you got to ask yourself, are you considerate? Are you compassionate? Are you thinking about what persons have gone through? And an act like that yesterday would not say they are. They are not.
I want to ask the Dr. Wickham. I know psychiatry and psychology are not your specialties, but what happened to those children yesterday? What does that do to them? You're a parent. I want you to speak as a parent. What does that do to the child? I mean, the video is all over the place today, and in the event that they see it, or in the event that their friends see it, what does that do to them?
Well, to them, based on where society has kind of moved to, sometimes you see a video like that now and you're a star.
And you're a star?
You're a star.
Yeah. Oh, because
society's changed. In terms of what it has done to them, you know, what they were exposed to and made to be a part of certainly helps to shape what I would refer to as their compass. Their code in life.
Moral compass?
Whether we realize it or not, we all work with a compass, you know. We all work with a North Star, a sense of right or wrong.
Let us hasten to add, though, that we are not condemning the children.
No, that's
that we are seeing them as victims.
Made to be a part
what
of.
they were made, right.
What they were made to be a part of. So, you know, it is saying to them, and certainly if they stayed around, because I believe that part of it might have been earlier, if they stayed around for what came later and saw some of what I saw later on the stage, you know, the children were basically being told that this is how we just do it.
Really?
This is how we just do it.
By speakers?
No, but the big fetting and partying and dancing and walking up on the stage afterwards at this family event. Because remember, this was a family event. It was family event.
And politicians were out there, or they had dancers?
Yes,
they were?
Politicians were, really? One politician was up there. But, you know, with a lot of children in the audience, they were basically being told, this is how you do it. Which is why when that same politician behaved somewhat sanctimonious when that video came out sometime back with class 4 children behaving a certain way in the classroom, and less than 48 hours, definitely less than 40 hours later, that politician was on a stage doing worse than what the children were doing.
And that politician called for prayer, 5 minutes of prayer.
Called for prayer.
And I think the same evening, let's continue saying that politician.
Yeah, that politician.
And that politician was doing the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that politician was also doing the same thing yesterday, in full view of the children that no doubt would have been there still because their parents are there, their children are there. So we're basically programming their minds.
Yes.
This is how you do it.
What are we telling them then about politicians of power who are promoting this kind of, obviously promoting this kind of behavior? What are we saying to children about our roles as politicians? How are they going to see us as politicians?
Particularly that young, you're telling them that, you know, this is how a politician is supposed to do it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that if you have a politician or you have a party that comes with a different message or a different approach, for whatever reason they choose a different approach,
Yes.
I don't want to be a part of that, because you're programming their behavior from very young. You're programming
Right.
their minds,
Right.
their consciousness from very young to see that this is the norm.
Yes.
It is why, for example, with my children, I was very deliberate what I exposed them to.
Right,
Our parenting of them was not by accident. It was very deliberate, the things that I exposed them to from even before birth and in those early years coming up, because I understood that more or less I am helping to form and shape their code, the code by which, when they are beyond my control, when they're beyond my eyes, as they will be even when they're at school, that they would remember the things they're taught. So I was giving them that sense of right or wrong. We would have been saying to those children yesterday, and all those watching and being a part of these events over the years, and Ian, you mentioned, respect for Arabaro and what he did for our country on the day, but let's not forget, they do the same thing on April 28th, which is National Heroes Day, the
East
birthday
Coast.
of Brantley Adams, another
correct.
national hero. They do the same thing.
They do the same thing,
This is how they operate, and they're saying to our young people, this is how you do it. They're saying to our young people as well. I mean, yes, we're talking about yesterday, but let's extend. They're saying to our young people, when persons are given bags of money to go around and hand out, they're saying to our young people, this is how you do it. And it is setting an extremely bad example. And it makes no sense being sanctimonious when you see a video of class 4 children doing certain things in class, for you to go and do, for that politician to go and do the same thing afterwards.
Precisely.
And so on, do as they say, but not as they do. Come on, we all know that doesn't work anymore.
Right.
Even if it used to work 40 years ago, that does not work today. Right? That does not work today. So you're programming their moral compass in a particular direction to expect that this is the norm. This is how all politicians are supposed to do it. And if the other politicians come along don't do it like this, so be it.
The two lawyers are sitting across there, and we're talking about standards. Now, we've started the year with death by murder. I think we've had two. Jason, one yesterday in the mid-morning hours. And we're seeing this decline in social behavior and social standards on stages that are supposed to be entertainment. And we have the murder unabated, crime unabated. I want to challenge the lawyers here. Are you seeing a connection between these lowering of standards and the unabated commission of violent crime in Barbados? Remembering that a lot of the chappies who are coming before the courts now for violent crime, 16, 17, chap was charged last week. Multiple shootings, 20 years old. So the moral decline that we have to say it is being sponsored by a government, by a political party. And in that climate, you have rampant violent crime. Jason, any connection?
I don't want to make a pun here, but I think the Barbados Living Party is setting the stage for the kind of society that we have.
Yes. Yeah.
And
it is a good pun, setting the stage.
Yeah, they set the stage.
Setting the stage. A literal stage was down there in Ian's constituency.
Big one.
And when you were talking with my comrade, Ian, you asked him how those children would feel.
Yes.
And I think that on reflection, there's going to be regret.
Let us reiterate, we're saying that they were abused.
Yeah, they were abused.
Right.
So now there's going to be regret because they were misled.
Yes, precisely.
And those responsible for hosting that event should be held accountable.
That's correct.
They need to come to Barbados and apologize.
Yes. Not the children.
No, I'm talking
the
about
adults.
those.
Yeah, we want to make that point clearly. Clearly make that point.
I am referring to those who host the event.
Yes, don't quarrel with me, Jason.
No, I'm not quarreling. I'm not about quarreling.
Just pull your leg.
I'm excited about you raising these important points.
Yes, thank you very much.
Very, very important.
Yes.
And it was an insult to our national
hero. Precisely.
On the very day.
The very day.
That we are celebrating his legacy.
Yes.
Look.
A legacy of service, integrity, and patriotism.
We came out of slavery, and the Right Excellent Edward Barrow was the first Prime Minister. And I hope I'm not going off the topic.
No, please, please.
Right? And
You're also a teacher, so teach them.
And if you look at the history of Barbados, we're looking at our heritage, and then we came from a background of enslavement. And right out of slavery, we went into an era where we wanted independence, because before the British owned us, and everything that was done in Barbados was for their benefit. Barrow, the Right Excellent Edward Wharton Barrow, took a collection of villages and turned it into a country.
Into a nation.
Into a nation.
Yes, yes.
And what did he do with the resources? He said, listen, we have a people here that we need to educate.
Well
because
said.
all of the doctors, the lawyers, and so on,
yes,
they were Caucasian from England. A few were Indians and so on.
Yes.
And he looked at his own people and he said, look, to make these people a proud people, we must educate them. So the first thing he did with those taxes, he didn't hold parties.
You're right back to
He didn't hold parties in
Ian's
St.
lyrics. Emancipate yourself.
From mental slavery.
None but ourselves.
So the first Prime Minister of Barbados decided that he's going to train the minds of the people of Barbados. And he started off with, for a standard, what we call primary school.
Yes.
And back then, we didn't have sufficient primary schools. So if you weren't bright enough, or if you didn't have enough money to pay for your education, you had to go back to your old primary school. I remember at Spikestone Boys School, seeing the fellas, we used to wear short, kinky pants. And after class 4, if you didn't get a secondary school, maybe Harrison College or Queen's College, well, my school was a boys' school. You had to go back to the same primary school in class 5. You had class 5, class 6, and class 7. And you wear long grey pants. But what was so important about his leadership, not only did he say that he wanted educated people, but he realized if the people are going to become educated and they came from a very poor background, you have to feed them.
Yes.
And through his leadership in the Democratic Labour Party, he executed a school meals program where you went to school and you were fed. So you could concentrate on your work.
Yes.
And after realizing that now we have a school system that works for the masses, he said, look, we're going to use these taxes in the best way possible. Not to frolic with it, with the people's money, but he decided that he's going to have a healthcare system. So you remember, you had the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, you have polyclinics in different districts. And that's why I'm advocating for the Morris Boyer Polyclinic to be upgraded to a mini hospital in the north. But we're talking about that another
Congratulate
time.
you. No, you've agitated for it. I don't mind you agitating for it again, Jason. Speak for St. Peter.
Not only St. Peter, I'm speaking for the good people of St. Peter, but also for the people in the north.
And the north, yeah.
Because there's no reason why we cannot have a mini hospital in the north to satisfy the people in St. Peter, all of St. Lucie, the northwestern tip of St. Andrew, and the northern tip of St. James. And do not tell me, sorry for raising my voice, people, but do not tell me it can't be done. Because I'm telling lies. Did not this BLP administration open a mini hospital in St. Lucie during COVID?
And borrowed 125 million US from the European Investment Bank
Still paying back.
to build a hospital. Who is in there now, Dr. Wickham?
Construction equipment and overseas workers.
Precisely. Where's the hospital?
Immediately after the COVID was finished.
We have to take off the gloves. Mia Motley has to go. And this is no mere politicking.
About that
Can I relax my shoulders a little bit?
No. Stay starchy. Keep it starchy. Keep it
regarding
starchy.
that
Yes,
same
Doc.
hospital, in the north, 120 million from the European Investment Fund, and all of Barbados needs to hear what I'm about to say.
Precisely.
We had a 5-year moratorium on that loan,
Yes.
which means, and it was obtained in 2021, this is 2026, 5 years, which means we begin payment later this year on that 120 million loan for a hospital we no longer have.
What happened to the
200 beds. Many of them
You want to hear about equipment? Where's the money, Doc?
I have no idea.
Ainsley, you probably know where the money is.
Where's the money? No. It's
Where
being-
is,
it's
yeah,
being
where is
rented.
it? Where is it? What are we going to tell the European Investment Bank?
But it's being rented, so where's the money now? Where's the money that's coming from? What is the money
But we
that's
had,
And they
coming now?
partying.
we had a fully functional hospital, you know. Many of those beds were intensive care unit capable.
So where's the equipment? If we can't find the money,
I
where's
can
the
only
equipment?
assume move back to QEH, but you know, assumptions, I have no idea. I have no idea. We do not know any of the terms of the current arrangement, but the key point that I want us to understand, we will be paying
We'll be
this
paying
year
this
for
year.
the next 15 years.
Yes.
Because it was a 20-year loan,
On a loan.
20-year moratorium. On a loan for a hospital
That we
we
do
no
not have.
longer have.
There's-
While Barbadians are suffering on the floor of QEH.
And I heard the Minister of coming to you shortly, the Minister of Health saying on radio today,
We have one?
well, that's a title he has.
The voice.
He found the voice, and he was blaming Hurricane Elsa.
For what?
The failures in government. I heard that on the news today, Dr. Walker, when he left the paying of the deposit.
So you agree with me?
He referred to Hurricane Elsa, and I was shocked. I was not even amused.
He was probably comatose and now woke up. And Elsa might be the last significant event he remembered. Must be. Must be.
The thing about this whole thing is that when the medical facility was built at Harrison's Point during COVID, it was built to handle respiratory illnesses. COVID,
Yes.
respiratory illnesses, mainly respiratory illnesses. Not gunshots, not stabs, respiratory illnesses. Now, if you have your major hospital, and like Jason was saying earlier, you have polyclinics, which were supposed to be actually capable of handling or brought up to handle those other emergencies, but and open 24 hours. The only one that opens 24 hours is Vincent Scott. But you have respiratory illnesses. Now, COVID did not go anywhere. When we were lifted from the restrictions for COVID, COVID still was in Barbados. Those words came from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. George, the Honorable Dr. George. COVID is still here. So now that you are having respiratory illnesses, or I should say high respiratory illnesses, would it have been wise to have kept that hospital? And I know that the argument that they may have had that the hospital at Harrison's Point was not up to what you would say the standard to be a major hospital because of they having the different wings, and it's not one big block where you move from one department to the next department, but you have blocks that you have moved from. So be it. But the usage during COVID proved well, because those blocks, you move patients who were highly contagious, who were not so contagious in different blocks. It is practically not any different than what is happening now at QEH. What is happening now is that this flu virus that is going around, which some of these viruses are the other strain, or one of the dangerous strains of COVID. The hospital could have handled that.
Yes.
Now, it's not a question of everybody. I've heard comments on the radio saying, why should someone have to go all the way to St. Lucie if they have this flu virus? Would you rather not go into somewhere which has the specialized equipment to handle those, rather than go to the QEH and wait,
lie down on the floor,
and lie down on the floor and wait till you're attended, or you can get oxygen and things like that? You know, my voice is here now because I have been going through in December, late December, similar symptoms, and this flu virus that we have is a quick-acting virus. So to say that Harrison's Point would not have been useful is a pure fallacy. On top of that, you have elderly patients who have nowhere to go in the hospital. And we know that is something that is another problem that the hospital has. That very hospital, that very facility at Harrison's Point have also the facility that you could have a wing that could house some of those elderly patients, because the area in St. Lucie is very good, especially at Harrison's Point. It's one of the most beautiful spots in St. Lucie.
Better than St. John?
Yes, better than St. John. It would give Bath, you know, probably a little edge, but, you know, yeah, St. John has its purpose. But the air, the quality, I have to represent the people of St. Lucie. You have to represent the people of St. John. And I'm glad you're doing that. But those are things that could have been done. And this is when you have foresight. This is when you have vision. We talk about this government having vision. I figured that because COVID had gone, everybody back to out party time, as the sound say, we outside. So everything is gone. But bam, flu virus come around, quick so.
Back
like
to
that.
square one.
Back to square one again.
Yeah.
Just quickly,
Not wanting to say something,
you
yeah.
said, you know, COVID had gone and the pandemic was
Well,
officially
not gone.
declared over.
Over, yeah.
Because
But,
COVID
yeah.
certainly didn't go anywhere.
Correct.
It did. But at the time when that happened, even back then, we all knew that QEH was in problems.
Exactly.
QEH didn't get into problems in 2026. QEH has been a mess for years.
Exactly.
It's been a mess for years.
Just
so
got worse under these
It just
people.
got worse under this administration, significantly worse.
Significantly
Because we have
worse.
absentee ministers of health. We've had absentee
We
ministers
have how
of
many?
health.
3?
We've had 4.
No, right now we
Right
have
now?
3 ministers of health.
Well, yes, because the boss is the minister of health.
Well, she was
The other two-
striding, going down the corridor.
Well, she knew she was planning to call the election 2 days later.
Yeah,
So she
going to
suddenly wanted to pretend that QEH mattered.
So what happened to Ishmael and Walcott?
I don't know.
They were at the meeting?
I have no idea.
She went to meet with doctors.
But I'm sure you could, for that 41,600 gross a month that they get combined, you could pay 1, 2, 3. You could get about 3 doctors and a couple nurses to work.
Imagine that.
Do work.
And
to
actually
treat the
do
people
work.
of Barbados.
Yes.
Because they're serving on purpose, so
Yeah.
they can be gotten rid of. The prime minister is running the hospital by proxy, so you don't need them. You can actually get persons to see patients. But the hospital was in problems for a while at the time the decision was made to close the Harrison Point facility, and there was no thought seemingly about how to incorporate that into our national health facilities, given that we spent so much money on it and we have to be paying. You want to see?
Yes, Jason.
Just
Coming to you shortly, Ensley.
I just wanted to finish my thought, right? Because we all accept that the QEH is standing on one leg. And
Half of a leg.
and we accept that the government during the COVID time opened up many hospitals in St. Lucie. So I'm saying there's absolutely no reason why we cannot have a mini hospital in St. Peter by upgrading the Morris Bayer into a mini hospital, having about 3 or 4 wards, an ambulance bay with 2 or 3 ambulances to serve the people in the north. Now that would take the pressure off of the QEH. Imagine if you get up at 2 a.m. and you can't breathe. Are you going to wait 45 minutes the ambulance come down the road and then go back up the road with you? You're going to die. That's happened.
If one is available.
If one is available. In fact, I was in Black Bess recently, and this guy told me he is so upset with this administration. He said that he suffers from diabetes, and one day he was sick, and the ambulance was called. And halfway to his home, the ambulance was rediverted to somewhere else. Probably someone was worse off than he.
Yes.
And he did not get to the hospital, did not get an ambulance. He could have died. And that's why I think we should have a medical facility in the north, but preferably Spikestown, because there's a metropolitan place.
What do you think about this year? Spikestown or St. Lucie?
It's been called for a very long time. I mean, St. Lucie, Spikestown. It is the north, and Spikestown. You have not just St. Lucie, but you have St. Andrew, and you have St. James.
St. James, yeah.
There is a need for a medical facility in the north. Barbados may be a small island, but there's evidence recently that when it comes to medical health care, that there is, I don't know if it's a shortage of the service of proper medical health care. Because, for instance, recently you had the Chinese ship that came in where we had lines.
Yeah, what did that Chinese visit?
Lines, 1 week.
Do?
1 week, pretty much everything, including surgeries, in 1 week. Then the Bel Air Institute, dental services, 1 week, lines of person going to get dental care. That tells us something.
Yes.
That tells us when it comes to health care as a country, there are not many persons who are fortunate to have private health care. There are not many persons. I would say this is one of my things when it comes to medical insurance. When I was younger and anyone told me about insurance, I would say, man, insurance, well, I take my money, and then I'm talking about my early 20s, I take my money, I work, I want to get money, I don't get a job, I want to take money, I can spend it. When I went to New York and I studied in New York, I understood the purpose and importance of medical insurance. On my return back in 1990, I took all those insurances. And I would advise any young person to have medical insurance. But the reality is not many persons in Barbados can afford medical insurance. So we have a social responsibility to provide medical care. So when that Chinese ship came here with what we call free medical, no wonder so many Barbadians for all
Ian?
1 week. 1 week. And in 1 week you have so many people from all across Barbados going to that ship for medical care. So what does that tell us?
And this took me, and it takes me back to the argument I was making about the vision of our national hero, like the father of independence. After education, Barra said, we have to take care of the health of this country.
Yes.
And that's why he put polyclinics in various areas in Barbados.
Yeah.
In fact, I would like to advocate that under DLP administration, we will have to consider looking at opening polyclinics 24 hours, maybe to ease the burden off the QAH. At least, if not all of them, strategic polyclinics around this country.
We're going to be saying something about that in our manifesto.
St. John.
We should, because it is obvious that the Barbados Labour Party-led government has dropped the ball. They're more concerned with partying and frolicking and looking after the affairs of these people, of our people. And this government has presided over the largest amount of money ever borrowed. I call it squander media. Squander media. When you have such a mandate, you cannot afford to frolic and fool around with the people's money.
Big layman party.
The big layman party or the party. But it's not meant to be a joke.
Let me say something, Jason. Listening to y'all, I'm hearing the word optics in relation to the BLP. Have you all noticed how they're campaigning? The Prime Minister is striding going down the corridors of QEH. Lashley is nominated and he's striding going down some road somewhere in town. The little girl, sorry, I shouldn't call her little girl, the little lady, she's striding going down some road as well. Everybody's striding going, and nobody's stopping to engage. And listen. So the image is this of the emperor, the empress striding going down
Barbadians are
street.
taking note though. Barbadians are taking note. And the Democratic Labour Party is listening. We are observing, we are listening, we understand your hurt. And another thing too that offends us, you could spend all of that money on a party in St. Lucie. Cost of living in Barbados is what?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you really doing for the people?
Yeah.
It is not for a government to frolic with the people's money, to travel all over the place, but to find solutions to make things better for the masses. Isn't that true?
Yes,
That's right.
Of course. Doc, you want to say something?
They can't campaign on record of addressing the issues that matter to people. Because as Jason pointed out, as I've said here before, cost of living is killing people. Crime is taking out our young men. And let's not forget the government's role. This government is very complicit in the crime situation being where it is. They can't campaign on any record of success in that. They can't campaign on success in managing healthcare, the healthcare crisis.
So where's the success? Any success at all, apart from a range of effects?
And a range
of effects,
That literally about it.
And striding down the middle of the road.
They cannot campaign on the issues that matter to Barbadians. So you have to try to distract them with food and facts. It's corned beef and biscuits 2026, right? Because they cannot campaign on the issues that matter to people. On the point of QEH and what you were saying there, Ian, I just wanted to to Thorne here, Barbados, let us not forget that our Prime Minister gave tax concessions to the private Bayview Hospital.
Yes.
Recently.
Yes.
Oh,
Under the
did they?
promise, when they expanded their facility to include an emergency facility, under the promise that they would give some benefit to the public.
They
to the
got
public healthcare
concessions?
system.
They got
Yes,
concessions?
They did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did, with a promise that this isn't just a free gift, you know, they will help the public health service, the public health system. We are yet to hear how the private Bayview Hospital, I personally have nothing against the private Bayview Hospital, but you heard what I said, private, yet they're benefiting from tax dollars. They're benefited from tax dollars.
Yes.
How has the public been helped? The PM just made that promise, but never shared any details, and we have not heard any details since.
It is true.
And QEH, as I said, is on half of one leg.
But can you just take public funds and give to a private entity?
No, not like that.
So why are Barbadians not agitating more for?
Well, hopefully Barbadians will act on the 11th of February. Hopefully they will.
Yes.
And we keep talking about it, and we're not going to stop talking about it. The cost of the Carry Festa. Undisclosed, undeclared.
What we do know,
And they come to us asking us to vote.
is regards to Carry Festa, and as we're looking at health, because health is important. And I can tell you, most of my patients, if I even have to mention the word QEH, I'm not going. They will say that. But on that point, Carry Festa, what we know, and optics and looking pretty, is there was a 13+ minute drone show at the end of Carry Festa.
There was?
Yeah, 30 minutes. Send some drones with LEDs up into the sky, look pretty, do various things. Looking pretty. That was late August.
This is low cost, though.
Absolutely not. You're looking at least $80,000.
$80,000.
$80,000. And that took place barely a few days before our hospital was begging for the public to put a certain type of gas in their vehicle so they could raise funds to buy 2 urgently needed blood gas machines. And instead of, well, PM, in fairness to her, she said she didn't know the hospital needed them. And I can understand why she wouldn't know. She don't be here. But so that's in fairness to her. But barely a few days before the hospital put out that urgent SOS, we need money, we are spending close to $100,000 or more, because from what I saw, it could go as much as $200,000 on lights in the sky for 13 minutes. For 13 minutes.
At the end of Carry Festa.
At the end of Carry Festa, when our hospital needed $100,000 to buy 2 blood gas machines, desperately needed. But that is how we chose to spend our money. And that was also a few days before the very expensive private jet trip.
Yeah. Yes. To Africa.
I also I take umbrage to a government that speaks to having such a buoyant economy. When it suits them, right? But in real terms, the Barbadians, when they go to the supermarket, they have to put back something because of the cost of living.
Put back something on the shelf.
Yes, put back something on the shelf. So if the government is saying that the economy is so good, why can't you reduce VAT as promised? You know? Why can't you increase the salaries again for public? Do something for the people. They have a lot of money. Barbadians are not really seeing the returns in this supposedly
buoyant economy. Yeah.
For the amount of money that was borrowed, we are not seeing value for money. We cannot see a smooth road from Indian Ground to Spikestown.
Oh yeah.
We cannot see a smooth road, and I kid you not, from Boscobel to Spikestown.
But Jason, Highway 1.
Highway
1. Tell the people of Barbados how long ago Highway 1 was supposedly repaired.
No.
I think it was when Goodenough was minister. They did it. It's about 4 years ago, Ensley. 3-4 years ago. It's gone again.
Now we got to talk about not
wastage squandermania.
We have to even look again. I will come back and say management of this road system and road repairs. Quite recently, and I believe the areas last week. I think it was last week, and it still is going on now. Persons in the north of the island took at least 2 hours.
Oh yes.
To get to Warren's, to get to Spring Garden. 2 hours.
This is on
2 hours
Highway to
both ways.
Top road and
because the management of road works was like, I mean, nobody could understand. You had work going on in the whole town.
Election.
Work going on the whole town.
A mad rush.
At the new hotel site there, the old Discovery. Work going on in and Content, where many people sometimes have used the Content Road to go down Shop Hill. So all traffic coming from the north had to use Highway 2. All traffic. Now, in the day, in peak hours, how can you look at productivity?
Productivity hours lost, yes.
Persons are, by the time they get to work, they're frustrated,
Yes.
tired,
Yes.
angry. How can you look at productivity? I mean, again, is it in consideration for the people from the north? Would this have happened if it was on the southern coast? I mean, we have to consider these things, that this is how road traffic management, there have to be a proper system. It's the same thing that's happening now in St. Lucie. You have road works going on, and then you have repaving. But there's no repaving. All you have is roadworks. But now the elections is coming up. You're now asking or showing people you can do the paving.
Those roads that were dug up in St. Lucie, what's that about?
That's the relaying of the pipes.
The relaying of the pipes.
Relaying of the pipes. And you know we have to wait till the boss Lee wiggle her nose to get all the pipe.
Okay.
We stayed waiting on that.
Ensley, the scientists took over, but I wanted you to talk about crime and the high incidence of crime among young people. You're a lawyer, former police officer. What do you make of this high incidence of crime by teenagers? I mean, when you and I were in the courts years ago, if you saw a teenager in the court, your eyes open wide, because the person in the dock, his average age was between, I would say, 30 up to 50. Now the average age in the dock is under 30. And then you have these shows with young people exposed to moral decadence. And I was asking about a connection between the two. The drop in standards, the enticement or seduction of young people into moral decadence. You see that as leading to crime as well?
Yes, but I think there is no one thing that we can put our hands on as the cause of the crime.
Yes.
There are many factors responsible for this. And we're starting from breakdown in the home. We're starting, we coming to where persons in authority, the youth feeling alienated, the feeling left out, the feeling hopeless, and there is no program or programs in place to bring them to that point, to refocus their thinking or their direction. And then they're left to the subculture for guidance.
Would you be part of a DLP government that does what the DLP did yesterday? Would you be a part of that? I am coming to the point. Would you, Ensley Grainger, just sit with your colleagues and see somebody called the Minister of Culture encouraging this? What would you say?
I would be part of a DLP government not supporting what was that display yesterday.
But supposing we won and we had a Minister of Culture and he or she says, no, I want to do what the BLP used to do. What is your position?
That wouldn't happen.
Would not happen.
Would it be Minister of Culture anymore?
It would not.
I hope so.
And I want people to look and compare what they are seeing from the two parties.
Precisely.
You have
an
election called on a Saturday. The Democratic Labour Party, with its candidates, presents itself in worship.
Next morning.
The Sunday morning.
Next morning.
The Barbados Labour Party launches with the fact of
child abuse.
Standard.
Child abuse.
But what I am not hearing, or what we have not yet heard, are the voices of the child advocates.
We need to hear them. if
I
they
am
have the
calling
courage.
on those persons to speak up on what you saw
Yes.
yesterday at Checker Hall.
Mm-hmm.
The silence is
It's
deafening.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not for the first time on the
Well,
Barbados Labour Party platform.
Yes, it's
That
consistent.
we saw children being abused.
Mm-hmm.
So it is for the public of Barbados, come the 11th of February,
Mm-hmm.
to decide if you want a moral government
Mm-hmm.
or if you want to stick with what you got
Yeah.
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One who is going to look out for your interests, one who is going to bring you on board with our decisions,
Mm-hmm.
one who will be accountable to you, one who will present the highest standard of government, or do you want to go back? I'm saying to you, Barbados, you cannot go back.
Mm-hmm.
This Barbados Labour Party government is not a third-term government. It is not a government working in the interests of the people of Barbados. And that is why it is important for Barbados and Barbadians to go out and vote. Your vote is the Barbados needs your vote. If you love your country,
Mm-hmm.
then you ought to go out and vote
Yes.
in protest
Mm-hmm.
of what you have received in the last 8 years. And failure to vote, you are complicit
Correct.
to
The
what
actions.
ever happens to this country. It is like, Carmelita, you know, in the legal terms, if two persons are planning to commit a crime,
Mm-hmm.
and if one fella got cold feet and said, well, I changed in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
but he has done nothing to
Mhm.
extricate himself from
Yes.
it, he is complicit
Correct.
to the man who carries out
The action.
the
The
action.
crime, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we, as a people, stay home and decide not to vote, then you are complicit. You are saying, yes, Barbados Labour Party, I like what you are doing. You have not told me that on the ground. You have expressed dissatisfaction with the government, dissatisfaction with the lack of representation. And therefore, I am asking and imploring Barbados,
Mm-hmm.
Barbadians, your vote is your voice.
Mm-hmm.
The government has kept you out of everything that they're doing. German slaying,
Mm-hmm.
when it come to the fore, finish already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whole town,
Finish already.
done already. Republic, no say.
Finish already. No, say, yeah.
You have your say coming
Exactly.
on the 11th of February.
You know, Ensley, to the sycophants of the government, I'm listening to you and I'm here trying to. What is the government going to claim as its major achievement over this 8-year period? Well, 7. What are they going to claim, Ian Griffith?
They are the
see-
largest borrowing ever.
Boris.
You see,
We have the best facts.
The best
We have
facts.
the best facts.
I would say that, you know, I mean, in light of what we see out there on the ground, like I keep saying it, it's like a mental slavery. You make a person feel that they are somebody by entertaining. It's like social media. Some persons, especially younger persons, feel that they are defined of who they are by social media. How many likes you have.
Yes. You can create a whole new identity within social media.
You identify because you have so many likes. But that does not define who you are.
And much of social media is entertainment.
Exactly.
You know?
And social media is entertainment.
Yeah, it is. A
Remember
lot of
that?
these people who have this following, people read it for entertainment.
Exactly.
And they are not aware of that.
There are countries in the world, like I think Switzerland, France, that have that prohibit children under 16, or they have regulations for the use of cell phones in school.
Correct.
Because over the years they have seen that there are many countries that have done it. Because they understand that those young minds can be
corrupted
by what we see. The internet is a good place, but it's also a bad place as well. So when you have a government who is utilizing that sort of behavior to entertain, to beguile you, to make you feel that you're somebody, to make you feel that you need to have Nikes, or you have to have the best clothing, or the best hairstyle, you know, and you go there and you went to this fact. It is all temporary. Where are you going to be in 10 years' time? When we look around societies and where we call the blocks, where we call those, you have young people watching. I had a young guy, he is 16 years old. And we talk about going through and canvassing. When you stop and you conduct a conversation, because you can't just, you know, swagger through communities. You stop and you have conversation. A 16-year-old young boy. So, you know, boss, I want a job. I said, but how you want a job? You're 16, you're not in school. Yeah, but I don't go to school every day. So in his mind, it's like, school is all right, but I want money, because
he wants money,
his idea of a job is that he has to have money. So when we have that thing, I mean, you get a job, what kind of job? The wrong person come along. But I asked him, so what you want to do? I would do anything. I said, be careful. That's a very, very open statement. Don't let me ever hear you say that again. Because if you had the wrong elements come around and hear a young boy like that, where would he go? You can imagine what could happen. I've seen and I've known in certain places where you have young 14-year-old boys out there in activities because they're being guided because of the dollars that they're going to get. I mean, this is a society that we have, that corruption and those elements can infiltrate those young minds, because we have to be real. The income that they're carrying home, that the parents are bringing home, is not sometimes enough to carry the whole family. That's a reality that we have to see. But we still have to be careful, and we still have to be, as a government, we have that responsibility to ensure that we put things in place that this thing does not happen to young minds, and we have to control that, ensure them that 10 years from now, they can be developed into productive human beings in this society. Well, and this government is failing in that direction.
On the question of failure, let us remind the young people of Barbados, and not so young people, that entertainment has become this government's way of distraction.
It's a distraction.
Education.
It's a distraction. They have to see it.
They've been talking reforming common entrance. Failure.
Yes.
Health. I mean, we are failure. Transport. Failure. Housing. Failure.
Road network.
Road infrastructure. Failure.
And crime.
Crime. Oh, failure. They've gone cost of living. Failure. They've gone republic. We don't have a Republican constitution. Failure. 5 years later, everything this government has touched, it has failed with.
And then they bring entertainment. And then they bring entertainment.
To distract.
We had, for instance, you have a wonderful place like Archer's Bay.
Correct.
Archer's Bay was used
Beautiful
twice. And each time it was used for a regathering event.
Using taxpayers' money for parties and events.
And then came back, drop a few benches and everything in there into Archer's Bay.
What color are the benches?
And that is it.
I was about to ask.
And that is it.
What color are the benches?
I believe they're red or something. But we know what happened to red when things are red.
These people are ridiculous.
You know, entertainment is just to distract. As I said,
minds of
and I
young
would
people.
like young people, like this is the song that I keep ringing. I want to ring it and ring it and ring it. And people said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Well, only none of us can free up our minds. That's what we have to get out there. Barbadians, free up your minds, open your eyes.
That's right.
Open your eyes and not be beguiled by what is happening right now in Barbados for the last couple of years. The entertainment, the money, it is only short term. It's distractions from what is going on. You don't see a lot of the big things that are going on behind you, or that it seems to be a flight was clouded. We have to open our eyes.
We have to get Barbadians to take out Ensley their report cards. And all the institutions we just looked at, failures. Nothing has succeeded in the last 8 years. Nothing.
Correct.
Employment Rights Tribunal closed down for years. People can't get before everything. That has been a failure. And how is this government thriving? On a myth.
And the thing is,
A
we
myth.
have by far the largest cabinet. So it's not even like
Precisely.
PM is obligated to
At
carry
one
the
point,
burden
there
on
were
our own.
27.
At one point, 27. At one point, 27. Like I said, the PM is not obligated to carry the burden on our own, but yet they can
What burden?
rarely point to any thing of substance as far as what matters most to the people of Barbados, the things that we've been just talking
But
about.
not what burden? Walk straight and down the corridor of the QEH is carrying a burden?
The burden of the flights.
It is just indicating that
Flying leaves you
the two
exhausted.
ministers you have
Yeah.
are totally useless.
Useless.
Yeah,
As I-
totally
I'm in
useless.
health. They are
Yeah.
indeed totally useless.
Totally
I
useless.
could take the rest of the night on my own talking about the issues of the public health system.
That's
Because I'm
right.
in it.
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
take the rest of the night
yeah,
and it would
yeah.
not end. It would not stop. I can give so many examples. And the people of Barbados know that I'm not making up stories.
Precisely.
Because they live it. Their relatives live it. Everyone knows someone who has had to go to encounter the public health system and face the challenges of the various deficiencies in the system. And the Prime Minister only now realized that she's responsible for health, since the two ministers she put there are no of use.
Well,
Right? So they have to come with distractions. They have to come with distractions.
Yes.
They cannot campaign on the issues with any confidence.
precisely.
Convince the people of
Precisely.
Barbados.
And then, as I said earlier, to hear Dr. Walcott today making excuses, oh, we couldn't make it because of Hurricane Elsa and the storm and the flood. And
Might have
That's,
been in
I'm
a coma.
confused.
Because Hurricane Elsa was a little ways
I'm
back,
confused.
you know,
Precisely.
yeah.
Precisely.
You
Every,
know, I saw something on social media today.
Mhm.
The Prime Minister speaking
Mhm.
and like trying to justify the water issue in St. Lucie.
Mhm.
We're saying that the water is not as brown.
Really?
Yes, I heard that.
That the water is not as
The water
brown?
is not as
It is
brown.
not as brown.
And give her until March
Give her, really? What's she going to do?
to finish the pipes.
It's
The
not
pipes.
as brown.
Water's
It's not as brown as we thought, or it's getting. What point was she making, Ainsley?
It got short there.
Oh,
It got
it's not as
It is
brown.
not as brown.
It's not as
So
brown.
But it's still safe to drink. It's not safe to drink. Let us ask that question.
Right.
Is it? It's not as brown, but is it still safe to
So
drink?
St. Lucie will take care of them,
Mhm.
and it will cascade down to
Yes,
the
it will.
constituency.
It will. It will.
While
Yeah.
our Prime Minister is busy trying to save the planet,
Mhm.
our
Mhm.
country
Yes.
is crumbling.
What's crumbling? What's crumbling?
So again, while our Prime Minister is busy trying to save the planet, our country is crumbling.
Mhm.
But remember, she did admit she gets confused about where she's located at any given point in time.
Mhm.
You know, when listening to the calling programs, I just want to ask myself, what country in? What country in?
Oh, she said that?
Oh yeah, she said that.
Really?
September last year at the St. George North Annual General Meeting held at the Pavilion in Cleveland, St. George.
Mhm.
Sometimes when I listen to the calling programs, I just want to ask myself, what country in?
But
What country in?
if she's traveling, why is she hearing the calling programs then? I'm working so hard.
Available online.
Oh, I see.
Available online.
I see. I
But,
see.
you know, busy trying to save the planet.
Mhm.
Well, Barbadians are struggling on the cost of living, fearful for their lives.
Crying.
In certain areas, you don't go to your house at a particular point. In other areas, but almost every when you get home, you're like you're out of your vehicle and hurry, get inside, shut your door. Out
And
of actual crime. And
let's
no
talk about
bill.
the other C too, corruption. Because we want to know why certain multi-million-dollar projects never went to tender, Jason Phillips. They never went to tender, and this government must not be allowed to have a free ride with spending millions of dollars that never went to tender.
We also
Barbadians
want to
don't know.
when a gift is not a gift.
Precisely.
That's true.
Precisely. That you take up valuable land and give it away. And the chairman of the donee, the person who gets it, he's given Barbados his highest honor last November 30th. I'll be sitting down and accepting it. It's fine.
Well, that's exactly the country.
This Barbados Labour Party-led government has a moral obligation to be completely transparent with the public's purse. You cannot have a project going on and your friends and family get the contract.
Correct.
And I'm not afraid to say that because if it
No
doesn't
names
go-
though, no names, no
if it
names.
doesn't go to tender,
Mhm.
then you can only give it to your friend or your family.
Precisely.
And to me, that is a serious level of corruption.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Barbadians, we have to look at the issues come February 11th. Sometimes we have to look past party because we are now fighting for the soul of this nation.
Mm-hmm.
We have a government that is more interested in looking good, optics.
Mm-hmm.
They have presided over the largest amount of money ever borrowed in the history of Barbados. And I said it earlier tonight, we do not see value for money. I'm not lying. Look at the roads. Some means you travel for a kilometer and you see one light burning, maybe two. What is the government doing for our money? Earlier I asked a question, and I'm going to ask the question again, but I'm going to stop at one point.
Mm-hmm.
How many millionaires? How many millionaires? And you can phrase that however you want to phrase it. But at the end of the day, on the 11th, let your pencil do the talking.
That's right.
Eat them out, drink them out, and vote them out.
And remember, it is the people's money that they bring back to them.
Exactly.
It came from the people.
Taxpayers' money.
Precisely. You said at the end of the day, we've come to the end of the program. Unfortunately, we have to, as a party, express condolences to all those persons who lost their lives.
Yes.
Especially the guy today.
Yeah.
Yes, he's actually.
I heard on the radio he was just working a couple of days. Sad. One of a twin. His sister is his twin.
Yeah.
What a sad loss.
And then again, the culture being misled by people who should know better. Or this frolic.
Mm-hmm. And
somebody have to set the stage.
And the relatives of the murder victims. We lost the young magistrate. We lost a young scientist, well, not so young, but a scientist from the government service. We've had several fatalities, road fatalities, and the month has ended. Let's express condolences.
I think you should have a moment of silence.
Director of Science?
A moment of silence.
A moment of silence, all right. And yes, we will have that. And we are going tomorrow to pay our deposits, 4 of us here. We are, aren't we?
Of course.
At Country Road. We want our supporters to come out.
We remind them of the time.
10 o'clock, I think. 10 o'clock
in the morning.
Tomorrow.
That means we get there for 9:30.
Yes, 9:30. Yes. We are going to do it in a very decent way. I saw a video of some people going there today. Again, pure bacchanal.
So you have to leave about 6:36.
Oh, you already know. You better, as we say, you better sleep in town.
So you gotta move early, boy.
10 o'clock, 9:30. Yeah. So we're going to pay our deposits.
Yeah.
And then nomination day is the 27th, I think it is. So please keep those receipts. Photocopy them. Make about 6 copies here in Griffith. And get your election agent to keep the original. And our supporters, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Again, our condolences to those who have lost their lives. It's been a very violent year so far. But then again, the government hasn't done anything about the violence. I heard the Attorney General today saying, talking about all the legislation he has brought, judge alone trials, crime up. And then he said something which was not quite amusing. He whispered then, we are going to bring gang legislation. He did not dare say anti-gang. He said gang legislation. I don't know what is gang legislation. It is called anti-gang legislation. We've been asking the government for the last 2 years to bring anti-gang legislation in this country. They've refused to do it. And a few days before an election, an Attorney General, who is a lame duck, by the way, he isn't coming back. He says he's going to bring gang legislation. When Parliament is finished, when is he going to bring what he calls gang legislation? People of Barbados, it is called anti-gang legislation because it is anti-gang. It is opposed to gang activity in this country. Too many young men, hundreds of young men, have lost their lives through gang-related violence. And the Democratic Labour Party is not afraid to confront that truth, to tell the people of Barbados the truth, to tell the people of Barbados that the Bahamas, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Turks and Caicos, and I think Antigua, have all passed anti-gang legislation. This government has had the last 8 years to do it. This government has been advised by our security services, our security forces, that a lot of the activity in this country is related to gang activity. We, the innocent citizens, stand at the risk of collateral damage, death even, as those people on the ship suffered. And this government has not seen it fit to bring anti-gang legislation. And today we hear an Attorney General talking about gang legislation. We don't know what that is. He is a lame duck, Attorney General. The government's time in office is about to end. It must end. It should end. On the 11th of February, we're asking the people of Barbados not to be distracted, because a lot of them on social media are advising people not to vote. And they're asking the majority of people not to vote because they want to keep this government in office by minority vote. This is a government that is in office because a minority of the citizens elected them to office. If those who were in the majority and who were silent and who were absent from the polls agree to come out and say to this government that it has failed, that it has done badly, that it has not done well by the people of Barbados, if the majority or part of the majority come out to vote, this government will lose. This is not a successful government. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for attending. We're going to be here. I don't know if we're going to be here next Tuesday because we're going to be having meetings.
Let me say goodbye to these people that said, Peter.
Oh, well, please, gentlemen, get your last words in. Starting with you, Jason.
It'd be remiss of me if I was to leave here tonight before saying goodnight to the good people of St. Peter. And I look forward to seeing all of you come out in droves in your numbers and vote for me, Jason Phillips.
Ensley? St. Michael East?
Good night, St. Michael East. I want to thank you for inviting me into your homes. I want to thank you for the responses that you have given to me so far on the campaign trail. It has been a pleasure, heartwarming, and I continue to ask for your support, and I believe I will get that support from you. I want to wish you well, and as Comrade Leader said, tomorrow we are going to Country Road to pay our deposits, and those of you who have the time, I would appreciate if you would come on down and give us that support.
Thank you. Mr. St. Lucie himself, Ian Griffith.
Well,
final words.
In a time like this, you know, the young gentleman who lost his life today, I understand only late this evening that he's a resident of St. Lucie. I want to offer my sincerest condolences to his family, and I would like the people of St. Lucie to come together to give support to that family at this time, because we know during the loss how hard it can be. And this is a part of all our community spirit that we have to bring back to Barbados. And I hope that we can all come together on February 11th to show that we have that community spirit when I become your parliamentary representative for St. Lucie.
Thank you. And our meeting should start soon, and there will be a doctor in the house, Dr. Wickham. The people of Barbados are looking forward to seeing you on the platform as they did a few months ago. You have much to say.
I have much to say. I don't have a constituency to wish for helpers do. As you know, that was my decision.
Yes.
But I do want to remind us, the people of Barbados, that registration, revision centers are open.
Oh yes.
4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. with the exception of Sunday, since yesterday they would have been closed as well. And for revising claim, and until Wednesday 28th of January for receiving objections. So you have until Monday.
Until Monday.
Yes, just Monday.
Monday coming.
Yes, if your name does not appear on the preliminary list and you are qualified to be registered as an elector for the constituency, you should apply to the registering office of the respective center not later than Monday, January 26th.
They're open on Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
But not Sunday. So
but not Sunday.
January 25th.
So that's Friday, Saturday, and Monday.
Yes, Friday,
3
Saturday,
days.
and Monday. All objections to the registration should reach the registering office not later than the Wednesday.
So that long list of persons who they were about to exclude, they can go in
Yes, person
tomorrow,
can check
Saturday,
and Monday.
and Monday.
And Monday. And if you're not registered, you have to register by Monday.
By Monday.
If you have an objection, that complaint has to be filed by Wednesday.
Or you can transfer to your new constituency.
You would have to do it by Wednesday.
By Wednesday
Yes,
next week. Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay.
So persons, but check your own, but also check on your friends, your family, you know, contacts. Ask them if they're registered. Don't assume. Ask them if they're registered, to check their registration and encourage them to get out and vote.
Thank you. Well, we said earlier that we lost too many people again this year. Can we do a moment of silence for those persons? And thank you very much. All those persons who passed are certainly worthy and deserving of a respectful moment of silence. Thank you very much. We'll see you on Tuesday. And again, as Dr. Wickham said, please attend to that list. Please vote. Please exercise your right to vote. You have a right to vote. And we hope you do. And ignore those who are telling you not to vote. If they don't want to vote, fine. But you have a right to express your disapproval of what is happening in your country, and a lot of wrong is happening in your country. Please vote against it. Please vote out this Barbados Labour Party government. Good night, and God bless you.
Persians, hear me now. Persians, hear me now. Persians, hear me now. If I, Aaron Barrow could talk today, I got something to say. Why? Raise your flag, but open your eyes. If I, Aaron Barrow, had to speak today, what I see would break my heart away. Nothing changed, just a mirror frame, same corruption, just a brand new name. My people, I'm sad to say, you reaping all you sow today. The pride and industry fade away, and now we fighting to find we way. Life at two extremes, I tell you so. Hope and hunger, high and low. Poverty mixing with champagne flow, but poor man still can't grow. Suffering and celebrating, starving while them still partaking. Nations rise, time to break that spell. Stop showing contempt for yourself. Say you can't change when thieves lead the way. Corruption sweet when give us pay, and government take what poor man lay. Taxation high like mountain peak, while schools and roads still spring a leak. Them flying high, them living sleek, but poor man vice still 2 weeks. So tell me now, who you blaming? Who make the system shaming? Them raise the dead, destroy the cane. No migration needs the pain. You believe that's like the clay, and now me a playing God today. Talking sweet but turn away from the people who make she laugh, she bend and smile she wear like she care, but she can't share. You think she love, you think she fair, or she trying to run you from here? Errol watching from up above. Bojans where the unity and love we used to build, we used to fight. Now we just beg and say alright. Let we rise again, take back pride, build Barbados from inside. And Errol gone back to sleep again. Aaron, but I pray next time I wake, my people go rise, rise, I say. Bimshar still alive. Boy, you sell it. Boy, you sell it. Bimshar still alive. We just need to revive. Bimshar still alive. We just need to revive.
Not yet. Okay. Tonight. Okay. So you come down the road to the for the thing. Yeah. I go start. You start there. Okay, fine. Wrapping tape.
for, what you do, you're a country man. You know the old trick of flour and water? That still work, you know? You think that ever change?